everyone, welcome to Arihant's Padhaakoo. I am Saakshi Goel Dutta, PGT English with Remal Public School. So today was your first board exam class 12. Congratulations on clearing it. And we have a lot of analysis here today to tell you how the board paper was. I hope it's easy for you. आपको भी आसान लगा होगा. And I'm very sure आने वाले सारे पेपर अब आपके इसी तरह आसान रहेंगे. So let's go through the paper. CBSE has 3 sets, 1, set 2 and set 3. Normally reading section तीनों sets में same आता है and reading section this time was very easy. Paper overall was simple, easy and not lengthy at all if you have written your answers as per the word limit. Alright, there are few changes in sets in question number 5 and question number 6, that is your writing skill sets. Question 5 has articles and speeches and question 6 has debates and reports. So set 2, there was a different question. Set 1 and set 3 had the same questions. And in question 6, which is your article and report, set 3 was different and set 1 and 2 had the same questions. When we go to the literature section, question number 8 and question number 9 were different in all 3 sets, although the chapters covered were same. Chapters same थे, लेकिन तीनों sets में अलग-अलग question आए in question number 8 and 9. That is your short answer question and 1 6 marks long answer question. So everything else was more or less same, the same questions and the same pattern. So here I do have certain questions from you which you people have sent us. Let's take them one by one. But before I do that, I want to say that the new paper pattern has given us enough time to capture all the chapters. All the 6 chapters from Flamingo were covered. All the 6 chapters from Vistas were covered. Although there were few surprises in the terms of marks given to certain chapters. So let's take up your question 1. Did the questions asked in writing sections were similar to past year's questions or they asked questions on some new topics? Well, it's a good one and yes, they did ask some very different questions this time. Some questions were difficult, some questions required a little thinking and little statistical knowledge on your part. For example, the question with debate. The question was different in both the sets. One question had capital punishment, should it be abolished or not? And another set has different debate questions. So these questions do ask you to think. सोचना पड़ेगा और फिर लिखो. So yes, the questions in writing skills were different this time. So let's go to the new question. Was the paper lengthy with respect to the time limit of 3 hours? Personally, I would say no. The paper was well within the time limit and if only you have written your answers as per the word limit, your paper should have been over in at least the time gap of 5 to 10 minutes. It should have been. The new question that we have is, was the new pattern more scoring than the last year's paper? Yes, I will definitely say so. It was more scoring than the last year's paper because your reading time is reduced. Instead of reading 2 passages, you are reading only 1 passage. So your focus is more or less contained and it is much more scoring and easy this time. The next question that we have is, as CBSE changed the paper pattern of English, was it difficult for students? I don't believe so. No. I do think that the paper pattern was changed so that it becomes easy for children. बच्चों के लिए आसान हो जाए, इसीलिए CBSE ने paper pattern change किया था. इसीलिए आपके 2 reading passages कम करके 1 किया गया, so that आपके पास time कम लगे and more scoring it should be. So the next question that I have is, which section was easy? Reading, writing or literature? Well, this is a very personal question. It depends on each child. किसी बच्चे को रीडिंग अच्छा लगा होगा, किसी को आसान लिटरेचर लगा होगा. But personally, if I would have to say, the reading section was very easy. The answers were pretty direct, to the point. Even the find the word section, which normally stumps children, जहाँ बच्चों को ज़्यादा दिक्कत होती है, वो section भी काफी आसान था. The words were easily searchable, easily findable, and they were pretty simple. अगर second section लेना चाहें कि which will be the second easiest, I will take literature. Because most of your questions were from the book itself, from NCERT itself. 1 or 2 questions were a kind of difficult one for you to understand first, but otherwise everything was directly from NCERT. We will take up those questions in a while. So next questions that we have is, did the question from novel section were similar to last 2-3 years questions or they were different? More or less these questions were similar, more or less, because we don't have a lot of options when we are giving character sketches. There are more or less the same characters that we can give again and again. As far as your plot question is concerned, yes, there were little changes, but these questions were expected ones. Most of you must have studied the same questions, so it's not a shocker that these questions have came. Let's go to the next question. Did CBSE bring any change in the paper which was completely unexpected? No, it's absolutely untrue. The only changes that were taken in the paper were given to you at December-January level itself, so that your pre-boards were completely done in the new paper pattern. Nothing else has been changed except from what was shown to you in the new CBSE sample papers. The next question that we have is, as CBSE changed the paper pattern of English paper, was it difficult for the student? Not at all. It was absolutely easy, very simple, very to the point, and absolutely graspable for every student, even the lower scoring ones as well as the higher scoring ones. This paper can easily take 95, 96 as the highest, even in the strict checking marks. These are all the questions that I have for you. I would like to talk about 2 questions in the literature section that required a little thinking skill on your part. So one of such question is, in set 2, from both of the questions are from the same chapter, should wizard hit mommy? The question in set 2 was, how can we say that Jack is a dominant male? And the question in set 3 was, we can't approve of Jack's attitude towards his wife. Explain. More or less the same answer, but it requires a little thinking skill on your part, a little bit of summarization and knowledge of your textbook, of your chapter, thorough knowledge of your chapter. Apart from these 2 questions, most of the questions, almost all of them, were directly from NCERT, directly with few minor language changes here and there. So the paper overall was very easy, very scoreable, and the fear that children had that CBSE has changed the pattern in the last minute, they may change it again, was completely unfounded. The paper was simple and to the point. Now, if we take the analysis of Flamingo and Vistas, since 6 chapters from each book were taken up, more or less all chapters have been covered except poetry. The strange thing for me personally was that Aunt Jennifer's Tigers from Flamingo was completely overlooked, which I thought should not have been done, as because they have given the poetry section from Elementary School of Classroom in a Slum last year as well as this year. So a little change could have been made there personally for me, since this poem is also important. What surprised me was that the last lesson from Flamingo and Indigo were taken in 3 marks question as per what we think were supposed to be in 6 marks. But more or less, work was quite easy, quite simple. I hope all of you have done very well in this exam, and I hope you secure more than 95 in all your exams, upcoming as well as English. All the best for your future exams.